Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the GSMC Basketball Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. As always, I'm your host, Mayor Fatemi. Getting into our next segment here, we're going to talk a little bit about the Golden State Warriors, specifically Steph Curry, his injury, and what it means to this Warriors team, and preview their angle for tonight's game against the Minnesota Timberwolves, because this is such a pivotal game. I decided to split these two teams up and give each of them their respective segments to discuss not only this game, but moving forward into the series as the series draws on. Um, I guess we have to start with we have to start with Steph Curry. Not even I guess, because this is something that this isn't really, I wouldn't call it a narrative, but this is something that needs to be discussed in Golden State right now. If I'm the Golden State Warriors, if I'm a Golden State Warriors fan, I'm pretty afraid for the Warriors as this series draws on. Steph Curry being ruled with a grade 1 hamstring strain at the moment. An injury, one of those nagging injuries. One of those injuries that a lot of people, when they get them, they are out for at least a week time. Steph Curry's going to be out for game 3, game 2, and game 3. Um, Whether he's out for the rest of the series, that's yet to be seen. It's going to be interesting to see how Steph Curry's able to come back, if he's able to come back in this series. But that is why tonight's game is even more vital. And honestly, all of these games are so. I think tonight specifically is incredibly vital. If the Warriors win this game tonight, I think they have an opportunity to win this series. If they lose tonight and they force one, if they split in Minnesota going back to Golden State, and they lose both of those games in Golden State, which they very easily could, the Warriors could be in a tough position. So if we're gonna look, if we're looking at this team right now, let's think back to before the trade deadline. Let's think back to when Steph Curry had his back injury. Without Steph Curry in the lineup, the Warriors have a losing record, plain and simple. I don't know exactly what it is off the top of my head, but I know they're one of the worst. They had a very bad record in the regular season without Steph Curry in the lineup. Now that they have Jimmy Butler on the team since the trade deadline, you have Buddy Hield that's kind of prospering right now. You have Brandon Pajimski who can be a sneaky number 3 for this team. You have guys around Steph Curry and around this Warriors team that can excel and shoot the ball and score the basketball in general. But Steph Curry is the engine that runs this team. You maybe can win one game, but you're not going to win the series without Steph Curry in the lineup. If you can win this game tonight, you at least force a game 6. And I mean this, I'm saying this tonight, like tonight could be the end all be all, but I mean that moving forward as well. I mean tonight just because of the momentum that you would have going back to Golden State. If you lose tonight, you not only lose a lot of momentum, you lose a lot of confidence, I'd say. Depending on how you lose tonight. And if you can win tonight, of course you keep the momentum going, you keep the confidence in your team going, but you also have more of an opportunity for Steph Curry to come back as the series continues to draw on. That is the thing that is the point that I want to hit home in this argument. That is, if you're the Warriors, you are looking long term. You are not looking at this game. You are not looking in the immediate future. You're not looking in the next 3 games. You're looking at the next 4, 5, 6 games, because that is how crucial these games can be. That is how crucial Steph Curry is in the lineup, especially in a game 6 or in a game 7. But Steph Curry runs this team offensively. He is a big reason why they finished the season. Well, they finished the season with the record that they had, with the success that they had. He's a big reason why he kept the team afloat before the trade deadline, and it's a big reason why they brought Jimmy Butler in to give Steph Curry some help. But for a nagging injury like a hamstring, I could predict this team being without Steph Curry for the next till at least game 4. Game 4 at the earliest, if not game 5 back in Minnesota. I think that's more of a realistic timetable. if we're gonna look at the doctor, you could say he's not gonna come back in the series, or he's not gonna come back in till game 6 or game 7. But I think from the Steph Curry that I've seen come out and play these last few years, he'll be out in game 2. He'll be out in game 3. But I would be shocked if he's not out there by game 4 or game 5. Because that's the Steph Curry I know. That is when we'll hear more of an update on his injury, and we'll have more of a realistic timeline as the series continues to draw on. But of course, you need to keep your Warriors team afloat. You need to give Steph Curry a chance. You can't put him in the 3-1 hole and ask him, "Oh, hey man, come out, help us out, man." You can't just say, "Hey, can you come out and help us? We need a guy to help us we need another offensive scorer. We're down 3-1 though. We need you to carry us." Look, you're not gonna get that Steph Curry. Sure, he'll come out and play. He'll give it his all, but you're giving him almost no chance to win. Tonight is a pivotal game. I'm looking at Mr. Batman, Mr. Robin and Butler himself, Robin and Alfred themselves, and Buddy Hield and Jimmy Butler right now. I don't know if you guys have seen it. Those clips are absolutely hilarious. They're all over the internet right now. I was laughing last night watching the post game from game 1 when Jimmy Butler is saying, "Hey man, you're a shooter. You're not a cutter. Get out of my space. Let me be able to drive to the basket. You cutting into my space is not allowing me to get to the basket." And Buddy Hield's like, "All right, man, whatever you say." And they're just going back and forth in the press conference. It's hilarious. These are two players. This is the happiest I've seen Buddy Hield play in a playoff game in his career, I'd say. He's usually always got smiles. He's always one of the more competitive players. But Buddy Hield has played on a lot of bad teams. Was with the Kings for a while. Went to Philly, struggled in Philly even though they made the playoffs. They lost in Boston. They lost to Boston in 2023 in 7 games. This is the best we've seen this is the best we've seen Buddy Hield play in the playoffs, and this is the happiest we've seen him play, I'd say. With the most passion, the most joy. The guys around him, they all embrace him. Everybody plays with confidence. They play team-style basketball, unlike the Boston Celtics. And Jimmy Butler looks unbelievable right now. Whether you want to call Jimmy Butler Robin, whether you want to call him Alfred the Butler because his last name is Butler, this is a fun team to watch, no doubt. And I think with how they're playing, with the confidence that they're playing with, Draymond Green playing at a high level, with Gary Payton II playing actively on the defensive end of the ball, I think they have an opportunity. They still have an opportunity. And if they can win this game tonight, I think it could turn the tide of the series. I think they need to win either tonight or game 3 to avoid getting into a hole. If you go down 2-1 into a game 4, unless Steph Curry comes back, you're in a little bit of a tough spot. And on paper, you could say that's what you should expect. But I think that would spell defeat for the Warriors. Unless you get Steph Curry back, like I said, can win game 4, get it back to 2-2 going back to Minnesota. That is the only scenario that if you go down 2-1 that it goes well. So, yeah. That's the scenario. That's a situation in Golden State right now. Without Steph Curry, this team could be shot in the water. But let's see how that all plays out. Let's see how their team chemistry gets it going. Let's see what Steve Kerr schemes up. He's one of the best coaches in the league. He can win a team games. He needs to win one game. If he can win one game, I think they're okay. I really do think they'll be fine. Win 2 games, force a game 6, get Steph Curry back, even if you're down 3-2 going into game 6. Get Steph Curry back in the lineup and see what happens. That's the best. You just need to win one of the next 2 games. Plain and simple. But I'm gonna take another short break. When we come back, we're gonna switch gears. We talked about the Warriors tonight in a pivotal game 2. Let's switch gears over to the Minnesota Timberwolves. Take a look at them. Take a look at the keys, what happened to them in game 1, and as well as moving forward into the series, what to look forward with the Minnesota Timberwolves. You're watching the GSMC Basketball Podcast presented by the GSMC Sports Network. Don't go anywhere.